Hey guys, what's up? Crazy Kae-len back again with another video. In this video, I'm gonna be teaching you all how to max out your Bossk in Battlefront 2. Now, Bossk is definitely the most fun max hero grind that I've done. So, if you're trying to max out your Bossk, you're going to have some fun. His abilities are all perfect and you can get some amazing kill streaks with Bossk. He's a really great hero and you can absolutely dominate with him really easily. Alright, enough of me simping for Bossk, let's talk about his star cards. With Bossk, you always want the same 3 star cards equipped for him. These star cards are Lingering Dioxis, Multi-Traps, and Ultimate Predator. Lingering Dioxis gives Bossk's Dioxis grenade an increased duration of 5 seconds. This star card can score you so much more kills with Bossk's Dioxis gas, and it has really helped me many times. This card is a must-have for any Bossk player, especially in co-op. Multi-Traps gives Bossk 2 extra proximity mines and an increased detonation radius of 25%. This star card allows you to get more kills and deal more damage with your proximity mines and cover a larger distance with them. It is an extremely useful star card for any game mode and I definitely recommend having it. Ultimate Predator allows the duration on Bossk's Predator instincts to be extended by 30% after each kill. This star card is extremely good because if it's used well, you can use your Predator instincts for a very long time without stop and rack up a ton of kills with it. This card has come in very handy for me during my Bossk grind, and it will be the same with you. Alright, in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 maps for Bossk. These 3 maps all give very good XP and have some of the best defense positions. I've found extremely good strategies and tips for you to use on each of these maps, and if you can follow these strategies, you'll be getting very high kill streaks and XP at the end of each game on these maps. These 3 maps are Jabba's Palace, Kessel, and Death Star 2. On Jabba's Palace, as soon as you spawn as Bossk, you want to tear into the enemies. Run into the room and toss your Dioxis into the nearest crowd of enemies, or if there are none, wait for them to spawn and come through the door for you to toss your gas at them. Jabba's Palace can get Bossk many kills because of all the choke points and large groups of enemies running through them at once. This map plays really well into Bossk's abilities and playstyle as well, and if you play into his abilities and aim to cover choke points with Bossk's proximity mines, Dioxis gas and Predator instincts, you should come out of each game on this map with some insane statistics. On the first phase, you'll want to focus on the door in front of you just outside of the objective and the enemy entrance to the left of objective A. Place your proximity mines outside of the enemy entrance to the left of objective A. This will take care of most of the enemies coming through there, while you can focus your Dioxis grenade and Predator instincts on the main enemy spawn. When the time reaches around 1 minute left, fall back to let the AI capture the objective and continue the game, and encourage your teammates to do the same. On the second phase, you'll want to stand just behind the main door. Keep checking your minimap, and when you see a large group of enemies spawn on the minimap, you can run through the door and use all your abilities on the large cluster of enemies. Continue doing this until it comes time for you to fall back again. By the end of the second phase, you should have around an 80 to 100 player kill streak if you have been playing well. However, you can have much more of a kill streak than this or much less. The third phase of Jabba's Palace can be difficult for many players, as Objective A is very open and easy to be attacked from, especially from around the corner. Objective B is very hard because there are lots of walls and pillars around the room hiding the enemies from you, and it can be hard to kill enemies in this room as well. This phase can be a struggle for many players, but with Bossk, your abilities come in very handy. You can use your Predator instincts to scope out where all the enemies are inside Objective B, even if they're hiding, and you can also use your Dioxis gas to damage everyone within the area. Your proximity mines will come in handy for blocking off the stairway to Objective A and preventing the enemies from getting up there. If you use your abilities smartly, you should be able to do well on phase 3. However, I would recommend you fall back immediately at the start of this phase and let the enemies capture straight away. This is so that you can get more time on the final phase, which is absolutely insane. Phase 3 also has a significant lack of enemies compared to other phases, so you won't be getting anywhere near the same number of kills on this phase as the other ones. It also doesn't have as good choke points as the other phases. The phase 3 overall isn't that good of a phase, and I would definitely recommend you don't waste any time on it. On the final phase, the place is your battlefield. You can get an insane number of kills on this phase if you use all your abilities well and on large numbers of groups of enemies, and continue doing this for the entirety of the phase. This phase is literal heaven, and the kill streaks and statistics you can get on this phase alone are unreal. If you have a good game on Jabba's Palace on triple XP, you can level up around 15 to 20 times in one game, and you can get up to 300 or 400 player kill streaks. This map is the best if you want to grind your Bossk, but only if you have good teammates that won't just end the game on the first phase. On Kessel, just like with Jabba's Palace, you can get some pretty insane kill streaks and levels if you play right with Bossk. On the first phase, after spawning, you'll immediately want to go up here to this position. This is Bossk's sniping spot. From here, you have a view of all 3 of the enemy entrances, but also pretty much the entire battlefield. From here, you can use all your abilities and your sniper to your advantage and can rain bullets, bombs and gas down onto your enemies' heads. Continue doing this until it comes time to fall back. Phase 2 isn't the best for Bossk, as there aren't too many enemies compared to other phases, and the choke points and number of enemies at the time going through each choke point aren't very good. On this phase, if you don't want to let the enemies capture straight away, it's best for you to stand up here and snipe enemies. It isn't the best sniping position or the best phase, but it can get you a decent amount of kills and XP. On the third phase, you want to be at Command Post A. This phase can get pretty juicy. You want to be guarding the hallway just around the corner from this objective and making sure that no enemies get through. Place your proximity mines right at the start of the hallway for you and the end of the hallway for them, so that way if you have to temporarily retreat or hide to regain health, the enemies will still be dying as they try to get to the objective due to your mines. Continue guarding this hallway with your Dioxis gas and Predator instincts, and whenever a new wave spawns, make sure that you always have your abilities refreshed and ready. If they aren't yet ready, you want to temporarily retreat back to the command post, as without your abilities, it's pretty easy to get shut down, especially by such a large group of enemies. Continue controlling this hallway until you must fall back again. On the final phase, you want to be waiting outside this doorway. You'll get many enemies trying to come through this doorway, and with you there, they can be easily stopped, and you can get large amounts of kills and XP. Just place your proximity mines at the doorway and keep using your Predator instinct and Dioxis gas on new waves of enemies, and you should be good to go. Keep controlling this choke point until the end of the game, and if you have had a successful game on Kessel, you should have a pretty high kill streak and some good XP. On Death Star 2, there are also some good choke points and positions to be found for the enemies to be easily controlled and killed, just like with Jabba's Palace and Kessel. On the first phase, you'll want to be switching back and forth between command posts A and B. Both the enemy entrances at these command posts offer pretty high kills and make good choke points, but just be careful not to go through either of these doors, as they will lock behind you and trap you in there until you die from being out of the objective as you desperately try to escape, which is not a fun experience, especially if you're trying to grind your boss. Have fun with controlling these command posts and making sure that the enemies are always being taken care of. Remember to fall back though. On the second phase, you want to stay at the door near command post B. This door offers a good choke point for you and a fair amount of kills to be obtained by you. Also, you don't have to worry about this door locking behind you, as it's automatic and will still open regardless of whether you try to go in or out through it. Stay here for a bit, farming kills and using those abilities of yours to your advantage, and then you know the drill. Time to fall back again and let the enemies capture the objectives so the game can continue. On the third phase, a good place to be is in this little hallway to the left of where phase 2 was, facing into the side of the TIE hangar bay, phase 2. This spot offers a nice little safe area for you to go backwards into to regain health if you lose too much. A sniping spot of the enemy's spawn for you to farm off the enemy spawns and collect some nice kills, and a pathway for you to go to objective B if you decide. From in here, you're relatively protected and enemies don't usually bother trying to shoot or attack you. You can also farm some free kills from all the enemies stuck in the TIE hangar pits from phase 2. It's the perfect spot for you to camp and can help you to score lots of kills. On the final phase, you need to keep your focus on not one single choke point, but all around you. This phase can be pretty difficult, as you can be attacked from any direction and can't just aim at controlling a single choke point. Enemies can come from many different entrances and can even come up from behind by taking the stairs. However, if you use your predator instincts to constantly map out where each enemy is and keep a close eye on that, you should be relatively safe. You can still go to town on the enemies and score lots of kills on this phase, but you just have to be more careful and cautious due to the number of enemies and the directions they can come from. If you focus on one of the enemy spawns on this phase, which isn't necessarily a bad idea, you can still be attacked by the enemies coming from the other 20 spawns. This phase is mainly about survival, but don't be afraid to be fierce and attack the enemies aggressively. If you play a good game on the Death Star 2, you can get upper 100 to lower 200 player kill streaks and can level up about 5 to 6 times in a game. Death Star 2 has some good choke points and camping spots on the first 3 phases, but you just have to be cautious on the final phase. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned some cool tips and tricks on how to max out your boss. I really hope to see Bossk players using these tips to level their Bossk up quickly, or even just to play as him casually and have some fun with him. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget,